I'm back, guys. Sorry that I'm playing with the with the filters, but it's just that it's so dark in here that it doesn't matter how many lights I have on. It seems like I look dark. I know I'm dark, but I look like different. So I'm trying to. Maybe I should get another ring light. But I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to spend more money. It's enough with the money that I have to invest to rebuild my office. So yeah. Um but yeah, once it's habitable, like I can like go up there and show you. I'm going to be doing an update about how it looks. Uh, I love it because I will have like more like a lot of windows, so probably I will get more sunlight and probably the videos will look better. Okay. This is going to be Mars InDesign series for SHINee members, for the 4 of them. I do have them here. I'm going to start with the leader, with Onu. And yes, his Mars is in Scorpio. I didn't know he had Mars in Scorpio. One thing that honestly, like, I love this deck. I love the Radiant Sun Oracle. Um, and I don't want to say that I don't agree with the keyword revenge, but honestly, I think that it is accurate. It is accurate because I had met Mars in Scorpio people, and once you get to know them, like, this is not to generalize, but once you get to know them and you listen to them very well and their life story, there's a bit of revengefulness in them, in their, like, but also for you to see it, you have to really, they have to trust you, they have to open up about their past struggles, and they are people just like any other people with Scorpio placements, that they go through a lot of crises, they go through a lot of life and death situations. But when it comes to Mars in Scorpio, I sort of sense that sometimes they play this game of like, because it's not something that they admit, but definitely it's something that if you spend time with them, you notice that for them, they, yes, revenge. They sort of like are waiting patiently for that one person to fall. Like, and they really mean it. Like, they could be like the sweetest, the most, because I met a Pisces person that was all love and light. But once she told me about her life experiences, and she also had a moon in Cancer, and she's like very loving, very giving. But once she started talking to me about her ex, not her ex-husband, it was like the father of her child, and how he abandoned them, and like the more she told me and opened up about her past relationship with this man, the more I was feeling like the clouds were approaching us, and everything was getting dark. And all of a sudden, this very loving and smiley and cute person all of a sudden became like very intense, like heavy. I felt it, heavy, heavy. um I don't know, like, um I would say that's why I was going to say I don't agree with this keyword of revenge, but I sort of get it. I sort of get it, like, because the way they seek revenge, the way they seek to one day take the head off of those people that done them dirty or done them wrong or hurt them in the past, is not a kind of action that, since it's in Scorpio, is not a kind of attitude or action, or that is open, that is like, yeah, I'm going to get revenge on you. Like, I swear, no. They just act. First of all, when they are over someone, or when they decide that they don't want you, they act like you're dead. Like, they don't talk to you, they block you, they just act like they never met you. They they do that because they need it in order to transform themselves. So if we think about a Mars, Mars is all about actions. So there's something about the way they act accordingly to what happened in the past, that is like, I don't know how you say it in English, but do you know that saying that is like that revenge is better served cold, something like that. I know it in Spanish, but I don't know the English translation. That revenge is a dish better served cold, something like this. Sun in Scorpio is the same way. When I'm done with you, we're done. Yeah, but user 13, this person was way more scary. Like, of course, if you're a Sun and a Mars in Scorpio, I like, yeah. But because I was part of a group, and I had this Scorpio Sun person. Me, I'm a Scorpio moon. And also, we are all from Pluto in Scorpio generation, so we were all around the same age. And we have this Mars in Pisces person, Mars in this Pisces person with Mars in Scorpio. And even for us, for the Sun person, for the Scorpio person, and for me that I'm a moon in Scorpio, the way this Mars in a Scorpio person treated us, like she held grudges against us that we didn't know that she was. Like she was upset at us about, I don't know, something. So this is why I think that they sort of like have this very intimate and a slow vendetta inside of them, that they are like, I'm going to plot my revenge, and it's going to take years, but I'm going to defeat them all. And you're like, but I never done anything to you. But I swear, I was in the middle of a discussion between a Sun in Scorpio and a Mars in Scorpio, and I swear, and me as a Moon in Scorpio was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, but even my Sun in Scorpio friend, she was like, what is going on with this person? Like, why is she so shady? Why is, like, I don't understand why she's so upset. Like you know when you're like, okay, I understand that you, maybe I said something that offended you, but please come and tell it to my face. Like, don't, like, sort of make me guess. And it had then, years later, it had happened to me that I don't know what happened, but I don't know, she got upset with me because I said something that she didn't like, this Mars in Scorpio person. And she stopped talking to me. Like, and we worked together. Like, and we were very close. But all of a sudden she started avoiding me, and she, like, I would enter the conversation, she would leave, and I would be like, okay. Like, I sort of, like, I'm not stupid. I sort of can feel it in the air. I can feel it. I can feel the passive aggressiveness, and she had this is why I think that the Mars is very, it's like you sort of can feel in the way they move that they are like this wild animal ready to attack you. And they always think that someone is after them, always. Like, this is why I think that maybe they could be holding grudges against you for years, and you're like, really? Like I did something to you? Like I don't like, and I have good memory. I have good memory, but I don't know. Like, and I was like, because this is the thing. I'm like, because I have a lot of Scorpio friends, I get along very. I never had an issue with a Scorpio person. I love them, they love me. We are maniacs together and we understand each other's intensity. But with this Mars in Scorpio person, like I didn't like the way she would behave because she was a Pisces sun. So she would act like she was offended, like she was heartbroken, like she was the victim. So I was like, no, like if you, because I felt that if you have something against me, you better come and tell me to my face that you have something against me. Like I done something wrong. Like you better come and tell me, like tell me to my face what I did. And I will apologize if I did wrong. But she never said it. She never said it. And I believe we had this weird dynamic for 2 weeks. And one day, out of the sudden, like, I don't know what happened, the planets aligned, and she started talking to me again. But why did she start talking to me again? Because she needed me. Because I was influential in the group. So it's like if she was against me, she knew she would lose a lot. So sometimes, even if you are very cunning and very like, oh, I'm going to get, like, I'm not fighting you. I maybe said something that you didn't like, but, you come and tell me to my face. If we get along, come and tell me, Vanessa, you said something and I didn't like it. Okay, like, but if you pretend that I will use my psychic powers and I will like sort of be chasing you all over the place for like, please tell me what I did wrong. No. That's also passive aggressive, and that's also being a coward because you can talk. You can talk. The silent treatment doesn't work for me, but I swear that she had a lot of like also she had a huge fight with this Scorpio Sun person. And what did she do to win this argument? She ran off crying. She ran off crying. The way she defeated the Scorpio Sun, it was she started crying like a crazy poor person, like, oh, why did you do this to me? And she ran away. and the Scorpio person was like, my friend was like, I didn't do anything. This person, like this Mars in the Scorpio person, accused her of stealing something. So this is why I think that you should be careful. You should be careful, like, please. Yes, that one, user 13. Revenge is a dish best served cold. Like, I'm loyal. Like, I never took my loyalty of her. Like, I never mistreated her. She just felt sensitive about something, and if we are close, you can tell me, you said something that I didn't like, and we will fix it. Because I'm very loyal to my people. I don't hurt people on purpose. But I'm human. I could say something, maybe, I'm Jupiter in the first house, I can mess up. I can be blunt, but never to hurt other people. And I love my Scorpio friends. Like, I'm surrounded, thank God, by a lot of Scorpio people. I know how they are sensitive. I know what they don't like. I know what I don't like. So with her being this sort of drama queen, I don't know. I'm not going to be chasing you. I'm sorry. Like from me, you're not going to get it. No. I'm sorry that I got distracted and we were talking about Onu, but I wanted to, it's not that I'm saying that Onu is like this, but probably he could potentially have this body language of holding on very tight to something that happened with someone in the past. And this sort of wanting for revenge is something that also, since Scorpio is about, you have to learn to let go, and Scorpio is so fixated. Sometimes at Mars in Scorpio, it's like they fall into their own trap. because even though their mind, their spiritual self, the way they show themselves, the way they speak, the way they communicate is very welcoming, and you're like, oh yeah, everything is cool between us. But maybe in his body, in his body, in the way he processes emotions, there's a blockage. There's a wait, a waiting for when I get my revenge. And maybe you will never get that revenge. And you're hurting your body with that. Because I seen Mars in Scorpio people like really like, like doing a lot of things to their body because they're like, I cannot, like either they become like very obsessive with training, lifting weights, and maybe doing some diets. Like everything is extreme when it comes to, how they process this emotion, this need for revenge. It's like I have to show the people in my past that I am a phoenix, that they didn't defeat me, that I am stronger. So there's like, maybe those people are not already, they are gone, but you're like, like, I don't know if I'm making sense. Onu never talks. Onu never talks to what he actually wants and lets people guess with shady mysterious. They have that there's something about them that I'm afraid. I'm like, what is your moon? What is your Mars sign? Like, I want to know so I can be ready in case I offend you. Because maybe I'm your mortal enemy and I didn't know. I'm suddenly reminded of that pottery live that Onyu did, where he said that the design he drew was rejected by the company. So now he was going to have his revenge. And you bet he will. You bet he will. You bet he will. He will not forget it. He will not let it go. Like, you bet he will. And also, he's a moon in Cancer. So he's always thinking about the past. So it's heavy and emotional. Like the guy is a sweetie pie. Like a lovely guy, but maybe sometimes holding on so tight to, okay, I'm going to get my revenge. What, if you think about these movies or this content about these people that are waiting for their revenge, it's like you get it, but what's going to happen with you from now on? Like, is this sort of like, this is why here the keyword is revenge, because sort of the energy of Mars and what helps Scorpio Mars to move is for them to sort of have a revenge with someone. Like, I have to revenge is what makes them move, is what gets them going, this need for revenge. I'm Mars in Cancer, and when someone does me terribly wrong, I let it go, and universe somehow takes care of it for me, but even more terribly a way that I would have never been able to come up with. Yeah, also Cancer Mars are very similar, like not the same because Cancer Mars is a bit more generous, but they don't forget. They don't forget who done them wrong. They don't forget who done them wrong. And they would probably like have their, like, I don't know why I get the Hyun line of BTS. They are all of them, like, I believe RM, Yoongi, and Jin, the three of them are Mars in Cancer. And when you think about the lyrics and what they compose, what they write, it's always about what happened in the past. It's a way of, I don't forget what happened. Or probably maybe it doesn't have something to do probably with you, but maybe if they hurt someone that you love or a family or someone that you really care about, that pisses you off the most, thinking that they could like do something to your family or they done something to your family in the past or your people. Like, the way to get into a Cancer placement is for you to mess with other people. They get crazy. They get. And he put the designs on the cups and gave it to the fans. So essentially, it kind of became a merch. So great. Onu is hilarious. One of those people who make you say, it's always the quiet ones. Yeah, Yeah, but you know what I love about Mars in this is why I think that yeah, I sort of get the revenge card. And also, maybe if you want to take a revenge against someone, maybe you should wait when Mars is in Scorpio. But I think that also what I notice about them is that when they go through a transformation, their body changes. There's something about Scorpio Mars people that is very visible, the changes in their bodies when they are going through a transformation. They changed drastically and they changed a lot. This is why when I saw that, when everyone was freaking out because, he was losing weight, he sort of had this new mentality, he was a yoga teacher, he was doing very well. He was a different guy, and you could see it in his face, you could see it in his body, you could see it in the way, like a different person. And this is something that Mars in Scorpio, they do it. They have to change drastically. It's sort of like the old perception that you have of them has to transform and die and resurface and reborn into maybe the opposite. Maybe if you saw him in a different shape, he would be the totally opposite. So I seen the changes in the body language, in the body posture, in the body complexion as well. So this is why I don't like, I sort of, I'm not like, oh my God, like how changed they are if they have Mars in Scorpio. I sort of can like, I sort of can be like, oh yeah, that's Pluto energy in Mars, because Mars represents, I wouldn't say represents your body, but it represents your body language. It's like how you move with that emotion. And the Mars in Scorpio needs to sort of like get rid of the old you. You want to get rid of the old you? Okay, we will bring a new one, but you will shock a lot of people. A lot of people will be shook by looking at you. They will be like, it's not that you change the color of your hair. There's something, you're not the same person. No, they're not. No, they're not. This is why I believe that, yes, I know that he's in a hiatus. I trust in his, I trust in all the idols, the Mars and Scorpio idols that are in hiatus. I always trust that they will come back stronger. And when they come back, you're going to be like, oh, remember he had this moment and that we thought that maybe, and we were worried. Don't be. A Mars and Scorpio always resurface, always defeats their inner enemy. Like they defeat, like they become stronger. They are warriors. And also because, Scorpio is also ruled by Mars. So Mars in Scorpio is like Mars in Aries. Is very comfortable, is in its domicile. It's just that Scorpio, since it's a very like, occult kind of energy, you don't see them coming. They are like the ninjas. When they want to attack you, they will not do it right away into your face. They will wait. They will study all your weaknesses one by one, and it will take years. They don't care. And one day they will come and they will hit you in that spot and destroy you. And you will be like, what? Like, yeah. JK and Jimin are both Mars and Scorpio, known for going hard physically. Yes, yeah, I did mention about their Mars and Scorpio, and I believe it was one of the first astrological videos that I did, and I did it for BTS. And I remember that I had fans in the comment sections that they were like, how can you talk about them and their sexuality? Because definitely Mars in Scorpio is a very horny placement. I have to say it, just like any Scorpio placement, they have a strong libido. It's not that they're always thinking about sex, but it makes them, it like for them to practice it or to practice sports and working out. it helps them to release the energy. So yeah, I know that some fans are shook, but yeah, and also Mars in Scorpio is like it's not about like quantity, but it's about quality. Like they have to have a good partner. Like they have to be satisfied in that sense. Otherwise, they get very grumpy. Um, Perhaps his Mars in Scorpio supports his drive. I remember he saying he thought Oni was too kind to make it in the entertainment business. Yeah, it's just that this is why I believe that for me, because I noticed that people that have Mars in Scorpio, even all the Scorpio placements, it shows that you come from a traumatic past or a traumatic event or reincarnation. I don't know. But with Mars in Scorpio, I would say that they had felt betrayal or they went through situations where they felt very like damaged, like betrayed, like physically maybe even, or an accident, maybe something very traumatic. So I think that when I see someone that has Mars in Scorpio, I'm like, you really are a warrior. Like if you're having a hard time, like rely on this energy, rely on this energy. Actually, for all of you, if you ever like are struggling, just go and check out where you have a Scorpio and get the strength and the inspiration to rebirth from there, because Pluto energy, Scorpio energy is all about like, okay, yeah, we've been hurt. Yeah, we've been there. We've been in the darkness. What are we going to do about this? How do we transform this? It's not so much. This is why I think that I had these experiences with people that I think that you have like low vibration Scorpios and low and high vibration Scorpios. Like in the sense that a low vibration Scorpio placement can be someone that is very revengeful and is very petty, and all the time they are getting offended about something, and they are always thinking that there's someone that doesn't like them and that they don't like them, and that they hold these grudges that at the end of the day, if you hold these grudges, you're only hurting yourself because the other person probably already moved on and you're still in there with that feeling, with that dark feeling. And who is drowning in desperation and in anger and in frustration in that feeling? You, nobody else. Probably the person that done you wrong don't even remember you or don't even remember it. And probably the apology that you expect from that person will never come. So sometimes the Scorpio placements like can help you, like sort of shook you with the trauma. So you can be like, oh yeah, I guess I went through a lot of betrayal. I went through a lot of dark situations. But the dark is on others. You don't have to emulate them. You don't have to get even with them. You can choose to be better. The best way to use purposely and to use successfully Scorpio energy is for you to use it to your favor. Be stronger. Be better. Be different. Transform. This is the best revenge you can get. Transform yourself. Don't get stuck in there because, everybody left and you're still in there. So you're a slave to your emotions. So yeah, Scorpio has a lot of teachings. It's tough. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, because I know what it's like to get fixated on something. I know. I get offended too. But at the same time, it's like if I want to defeat my enemy or the person that hurt me, the best thing I can do is to be the best. Jungier favorite gangster. We should all be afraid. Yes, we should. Yes, we should. Someday he's going to get his own biography, and there's going to be a lot of names in there. I remember reading you did where you said that onion sexuality may be blocked. I agree, it does seem that way. Yeah, but when you have Mars in Scorpio, maybe if, because Scorpio doesn't have to be like sexual, like literally. It can also be about you showing or using that desire and that intensity into transforming your body, working out, creating something. They are artists, they are performers. So, you can use your body to show the Scorpio energy. You can use it. You can use it to inspire others to feel comfortable with sexuality. The truth is that any Scorpio placement is challenging and is uncomfortable. This is why when people think like, oh, because Scorpio placements or Scorpio people are magnetic, they are sexual, they're also very sensitive. So, and they have a lot of stigma. So people expect a lot from Scorpio, and Scorpio is just a simple sign, like in a sense that they have their weaknesses as well, and they have their moments, and people put so many labels on them, so many expectations that it must be tiring sometimes. I remember hearing Cancer Mars can get really violent, and there are a lot of serial killers with that placement. Yeah. This is another thing. The other day I was looking at a TikTok that was talking about this, like this list of only sun signs of the serial killers. All of them were mutable signs. All of them were Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Of course, that in there could be, a Mars in Scorpio, there could be a Moon in Aries, for example, there could be, something. But all of them were Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces. So, everyone expecting them to be Scorpios all the way and fully filling the list. And no, there wasn't a Scorpion there. And actually, the famous Scorpio that we all know, Charles Manson, actually he sort of was the mastermind behind, the atrocities that people did. But he was the one, he was like the master puppet, he was pulling the strings from afar. So I could, if I think about the Scorpio and Taurus energy in these sort of situations, I would see them more like a cult leader. Actually, a lot of cult leaders or these sort of uh, um, uh, I cannot say the word, like is it multi-level scams? All of these are, there's a lot of Taurus in there as well. So yeah. I heard an astrologer call Scorpios the alchemists of the astrological wheel, called to be transformative. Yeah, 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 definitely. They are the alchemists. It's just that it's tough. It's tough because a Scorpio in themselves, they have so much potential, and at the same time they are so disappointed in people that sometimes they have so much to share with others that they're like, I better do not share anything. I'm going to keep everything that I know about you and I'm not going to say anything, like because sometimes, yeah, um they Scorpio also gets their heart broken, they get disappointed, they get mistreated, um and sometimes they lose faith in people. So they're like, I better keep what I know and I save myself, and I save myself, and I transform myself, and that's it. But and also there's this fear of what is it if I share what I know with others? They're going to steal my power from me, So there's something about their fear of sharing, Of what if you want to you want to take it away from me. What I know is mine. I did the work. So yeah, it's a whole process. It's a whole process trusting people and being open to be like, I'm going to share the recipe with you. But they're great. They're great therapists. They're great. Um, just they give you the greatest advices. Sometimes you have to be ready to receive them as well because it can be like a slap in the face, but it's needed. Okay, let's move on to Key, Mars in Libra. Key, talking about mutable sign. Mars in Libra, choice. Choice. And it's very interesting because for me, because Key is in the middle of Virgo, a Virgo sun and the Virgo in Libra. And honestly, I think that if he was, and even if he wasn't a sun in Libra, with this Mars in Libra, he sort of embodies Libra duality, Libra's choice. So I think that for him is there's always this, I wouldn't say like duality, there's always this contemplation, like what if we have this and also this? Sort of never risking or never sort of taking a side. That one member that he's like, don't make me choose. I don't want to choose. Don't make me choose. Actually, you making a Libra placement choose. You are hurting them literally. So yeah, and also because it has to do with I don't want to hurt others. I don't want to disappoint others while I make my choice. So I stay in the middle. So I am neither hot nor cold. I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. So probably, his body language and the way he acts is that he's always in the middle. Like he's always neutral. It's like even when you think that he made his mind, and even when he says and gives you, because that also that Venus in Leo of his, that he's very expressive, and he's a whole artist, and he's just hilarious, and he's very funny and very witty. But if you have to sort of observe what he does, he never makes his mind. It's like it seems like he has decided something, but he never will. It's like, don't make him choose. I think that he also, because it's like a Libra placement, he could potentially let the others decide for him. And if he is part of a group, maybe, let the others decide and he will follow. But him always remaining neutral. Him always trying to be the one that balance things out, even if he complains and if he's like this and being loud and like, oh, because you this and you this, but he's always in the middle. It's like if you observe him, he doesn't make the move, or he doesn't make like a very decisive move that you're like, oh my God, like he did this. Oh, he said yes to this and no to this. He's just there. He's just there, like there, while the others are like navigating options and be like, we should do this. And he's like, oh, really? Don't you think that we should wait a bit more? I'm hungry. Like sort of also bringing chaos and confusion and adding more options or choices to people. Being like, yeah, we should choose this, but at the same time, we also have another choices. So if we have to choose, we have to think about harmony. What is the most beautiful choice of all of those? I want it to be Venusian. I want it to be accordingly, what people are going to think of us. This is about being pleasant, being beautiful, being considerate to others, being a diplomat. It's like, yeah, I can have a character and everything, but at the end of the day, I don't want to disappoint others. I don't want the others to look at me, and be like, oh, what a nasty attitude. No, no. And Mars in Libra is all about no, like, let's keep it fair. Let's keep it even for all of us. When he does make a decision, though, he's pretty outspoken. It's so hard to decide with Mars in Libra, but once you do, you're all in. Mars in Libra, you never want to pick the restaurant we're going to. You did say in his last reading that he makes decisions in his working career, but not in his personal life. He's mostly procrastinating. Yeah. Yeah, Marushka, that's what I get from him. It's like when I think about this placement, I don't think about Key the professional, or I don't think about Key, the public figure. I think about Key the guy, Key the person, Key just a simple guy, just a simple guy. I think that there's something like also very um I would say it's indecisive. Like I don't know. I believe I watched a few content of him and Mino when they did. I believe they did the show I Live Alone, and it's like the guy says so much because he's so smart. It's like he fills you with words and gee, I this. But at the end of the day, if you observe what he does, he probably doesn't do anything. Like he doesn't, like, it takes forever. Like someone has to push him out to finally get something done because and this is why a Mars in Libra always somehow expects the others to come to the rescue. Is that don't make me choose, you choose, and I will follow, and I will be like, yeah, I agree. Probably don't agree, or probably, but it has to come from the outside. And it's like this sort of hot and cold attitude, like, yeah, I like this, but I also like this, and I'm happy, but I also don't like this. It's like, what are you saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know. The good thing is that they are very considerate, that they don't want to hurt people, that this is why I think that probably when it comes to the keyword of choice, when it comes to ONU, or not ONU, or Key, when it comes to Key, Key wants to do what's the best for all the parties involved. And there's a bit of, you know, kindness. He's a considerate guy, even though he has the potential to choose whatever he wants for himself. At the end of the day, he bases his choices around what the others want, what his people want. When he could be more self-centered. And actually, maybe if you see him, like if you listen to him, you could be like, oh, the guy really is like into himself. He knows himself. He knows he's so, yeah. But look at the final choice. Look at his final move. Observe that. Is always attached to someone else, to what the other person wants. It's like, okay, do you want me to go? Okay, I will go. And it looks like he's been forced, he's been kidnapped, but actually he prefers it this way. He prefers that there's the other guy or the other person that's pushing him to make the choice. And then let's move on to Mino. Mino, Mars in Sagittarius. Mars in Sagittarius, and now we have a fiery guy, domination. And I cover this because the guys are wrestling, but they are naked. Domination, Mars in Sagittarius. So, yeah, there's, there's no need for me to say that Mino loves to win. Like, whatever sport, um, activity, award, situation, he wants to be the best. He wants to be the best. Like, and even when there's no need to wrestle with anyone, there's no need to dominate anyone, he will want to fight you. Like, you're like, we're just playing cards. Don't get that intense. It's just a game. And he's like, no, for me, it's not a game. I have been practicing for a lot of weeks, and now I'm here, and I'm ready, and I'm going to defeat you. And he has this hunger in his eyes. He goes crazy, crazy. Also, Martin Sagittarius is like he can go a bit like you would be a bit scared of him. Like, what's going on? Like, why are you like this? Like, but it's funny because it's something that you can see of him. It's not just the body language, but also since he is a Sagittarius, the Sun and Mars. I don't know if they are in conjunction to each other, if they are very close, these two signs, these two planets, but probably they are. And there's something about his identity being like this. He feeling like he has to dominate the others. Even when no one is competing, he competes. And also you have to add that he's a moon in Capricorn, so there's something about him wanting the status. He wants the name, he wants the trophy. Definitely he wants it. But yeah, probably, he has a short temper. Probably he has a sort of very, like, it seems like he takes things like too seriously. It's like everything is like now or never. Like, I don't know if you guys like had lived with fire signs, but they are usually always in a rush. Like, they are like, come on, come on, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. And for him, I could see him like being very like always in a rush, always pushing people out of the door. Like, come on, let's go. Like, I woke up like at 4 a.m. Like, what are you doing? Like, already, like, what are you doing still sleeping? I woke up at 4 a.m. and I exercised and I had breakfast and then I went for a run and then I came back and you are still sleeping. There's something about them. Like, you are like, don't you think that that's you? That's your need to do this. They could be early birds, having this very like this pile up energy very early in the morning, like, and actually for people that could have like water placements or just being a bit sensitive, he could be a bit much. Like, you could be like, slow down a bit. Like, it's too early for this level of intensity. And also him getting annoyed. Like, he doesn't like to wait. I get the feeling that he doesn't like to wait. That oracle is definitely NSFW. W. What is NSFW? I'm sorry, I don't know what is NSFW. He plays every game like he's in the Olympics. I could see him because I could see like he wanting to defeat the others, him wanting to dominate. He's like, I have to be the best of the best. And he's like, who are you talking to? Like, this is just a regular situation. Like slow down. Like, please don't compete with this guy because he's going to defeat you. He's going to defeat you. And he's going to brag about it, of course. Temin bust Mino on a variety show. He gets so competitive, but all on meaningless things. Yeah, definitely. I could see this, this that I'm like, this Mars in Sagittarius. I'm like, It's about meaningless, childish situations. It's about the heat of the moment. It's like, oh, I can do it and I want to do it and I get excited. But also, since Sagittarius, it's also like, I would say, out of the other fire signs, probably Sagittarius is a bit much more like, is like a free spirit. So I could see them like, eventually like letting it go, or just, I would say, like calming themselves down, but they could just finish things with a joke, or just laughing about it, and then moving on, maybe moving on. Because there's something about Mars in Sagittarius that is all about the novelty. It's about like, oh, this game was so fun. Like, yeah, we had a great time. Yeah. But then if someone is like, you should slow down. Like, it's just a game. Maybe he can open up his ear and be like, you're right. I believe it's a game. Not safe for work. Explicit. Okay. Thank you, guys. I didn't know. Vino is too much for all my Leo placements too. I sleep till 8 a.m. at least. A minor channel competition, yeah, would either be really funny or super awkward. Yeah, channel is Cancer Mars. I thought about those two in a competitive show. Yeah, I wonder. They should get in a competitive show and see who else we can invite. We can invite my B2B bias, Minhyuk, the other Sagittarius that has a moon in Aries. So, he also has won some competitions, and he's very fit and very professional himself when it comes to taking care of his body, and he's always a winner. So I would want to see these three together, like competing. I would want to see, like, I would bet money on those three. Um, but yeah, like I could see him also like because I think that he could be exaggerated. Going back to Mina with this Mars in Sagittarius, I could see him being a bit exaggerated, but also I could see him also being like this giant baby, then realizing that, for example, that often Sagittarius men, they tend to be tall, they tend to have very strong bodies, they tend to be very built. So there's something about Sagittarius always being a bit clumsy, and sometimes having accidents, but I see with this Mars in Sagittarius, I could definitely see Mino being someone that, yeah, he wants to dominate or he wants to be the best. But for example, if he sees that someone else is hurt, or there's a potential of that person getting hurt, or him making someone feel bad, I could see him like stopping in his tracks or stopping everything that he's doing, and the drive that he has. I could see him like stopping, like sort of like restricting this fire inside of him and being like, I don't want to hurt my opponent, or I don't want to hurt the people that, I don't know, are watching. I don't want to hurt the staff or people that are around me. It's sort of like I think that he has a level of awareness, just like any Sagittarius placement. He can be a bit exaggerated. He can get very motivated and very excited while he's doing or practicing or competing. But at the same time, I could see his nature in Sagittarius also sort of going back to his body and being like, okay, I don't want to get this creepy. I don't want to scare people with this attitude. I just want us all to have fun. Or I don't want to lose a friendship over this, over my competitiveness. But definitely, the more comfortable he is with someone, the more he's going to show that he's competitive and that he always wants to win. Even if it's like a silly argument, he wants to win. He wants to win. And he probably, when he is at his house and when he is with people that he lives with, he probably is very loud. When he talks very loud. And when he laughs very loud. And when he moves like this. Super exaggerated, full of energy and in your face. It's like he cannot contain this Mars energy. And also this Mars energy, this Mars in Sagittarius is a reflection of his personality. So he's not faking it. It's his whole, but just like he can be competitive, he can also be compassionate. There's this positivity. I thought about this too in a competitive show. Dio and Key should host and the competitors the whole time. I watched it. Adbekion has a host too. Yes, of course. We should have Gemini Moon Bekium in there. Hmm. Okay, and last but not least, the magnet, Tamin. Mars in Virgo. And now we get serious all of a sudden. Actually, I did notice people that talk about K-pop and astrology. They do mention that a lot of main dancers have this placement, this Mars in Virgo, and that actually it could be the reason energetically and astrologically why they are so good at being the dancer that they are, is because not only because they are such a perfectionist, but also because they have a great memory. They can memorize like all the dance moves, everything. So they have a good eye for, oh, you mess up in here, oh, I mess up in here, I have to change this. There's something about them sort of having this very mercurial, sensorial attitude, a bit OCD, a bit obsessive for details, I would say. I could definitely see, in this case, we're talking about Temin, but if we think about the other main dancers in K-pop, I could see them like obsessively, like looking at, like what you did here and what you did there. And remember that you moved here. And probably they also have the ability to learn new choreographies fast and faster than the others, and teach others. But yeah, there's this level of perfectionism. When we think about the Virgo nature, I always think that Virgo is this nature that is like the typical know-it-all, the typical that is going to be like, oh, I know this, like, and you made a mistake in here. They have this sort of attitude of know-it-alls. But when it comes to a Mars in Virgo, it's more like, I saw how you move in there, like you shouldn't move like this, or you should move a bit further like this, and actually their advices been, very, actually very good, very positive. But I think that they have the eye for being like, okay, I move my body in a certain way, I have to be better, I have to be more precise. I have to be perfect. Like I'm not going to finish the practice. I'm going to live in the practice room, and I actually am going to enjoy to create choreographies, or make different choreographies, or supervise others to see if they're doing everything correctly. Because I have my hawk eyes on you, so I know if you mess up, I saw you, and I'm going to tell you. So you better be ready. So since I'm pointing you guys with the finger, here we have the hand that is pointing the finger at this beautiful lady, at the maiden. So see, the key word of a Mars in Virgo is criticism. Is criticism. And it's the eye. See, I told you, the eye of the hawk, the eye that sees it all. They see it all. So if you mess up in your choreography, you better do not try to hide it, because they saw it. they saw it. They it feels like they have eyes on the back of their necks as well, because you are behind them and they felt that you move incorrectly, and they will wait patiently until they get you along. They're like, you mess up in there, and you cannot mess up because you're making me look bad, so you better fix this. So, and Mars in Virgo also, they tend to be very nervous in nature, very nervous when it comes to their physical expression. Probably they are the typical people that they are, probably if they are sitting, it seems like they are shaking, or they are like looking elsewhere, or they are like they cannot wait to get out and do something else. um Probably they feel very, very awkward just standing, just be sitting in there, and probably they are overthinking about ways they could have done something better. But it all has to do with their bodies. It's like, I have to change my posture. I have to move like this. I have to remember that I have to get up and do these steps, and everything is in order. Everything, and also they're very good at checking other people's body language. So this is where the keyword of criticism comes. If they see that you have a poor posture, or if you move the wrong way, or if you miss a step, or if you are about to fall, for example, they are going to be the one that is going to be like, watch out, you are going to get hurt. Watch out. Don't do that like this. Don't move like this. So they are great teachers as well, because they have great memories, and they are also very good at observing people and their flaws, because the eye, see, the eye. Yeah, perfectionism. I'm so curious about Virgo Mars. You say his Gemini Venus make you think he's a player. Did I say he's a player? Hmm. Yeah, I mean, Venus in Gemini could be playful, and also they don't make their minds. Usually, when it comes to relationships, they are flexible. And when I think about his Venus in Gemini, I also think about NCT Taeyong. NCT Taeyong also is a Venus in Gemini, and I believe his Mars is also in Virgo. So there's something about both of them also being Cancer men, and having this very sweet, very emotional nature, very dreamy guy. They look like princesses, but when it comes to what they find attractive, or potential attractions, there could be a lot of like curiosity coming from them. But curiosity doesn't mean that they, like, you have to get them very curious for them to remain their attention focus on one person. Mm-hmm. That makes me think that maybe he likes vertebrate, if you ask him. It's just that, see, this is why when you think about the placement, you also have to think about the whole chart. But if we think about, for example, a Venus in Gemini, like we see, like they love intelligent people. Probably they admire a lot intelligence. They love to learn from new people, and they love to hear other people's experiences and knowledge. They could like have a crush on a teacher, or someone that is the one that shares the knowledge and has experience. But if we think about a Virgo Mars here with the keyword of criticism, I think that when it comes to the expression, and maybe how how they would take action when it comes to relationships, for example, and if we add the Gemini placement as well, I think that they would be very nervous and very you know, like it takes a lot for them to take action because they are so much in their minds and probably they doubt themselves a lot that it's not easy for them to be authentic and to be like, okay, I'm going to go after the person that I like or the person that I love. You know, and Mars in Virgo with the keyword of criticism is not criticism for others, it's also criticism for themselves, then feeling like they are not good enough to take action. So usually these people, Mars in Virgo people, they tend to attract partners that take the first step for them. Because if it was for a Mars in Virgo, they will be forever thinking and reviewing and planning and preparing every little detail until they feel like they are ready to approach you. Because they have to think and also, you know, study the options. And there's no spontaneity in there. So sometimes Virgo Mars people or Venus in Virgo, they also have, you know, to sort of have the other person being the one that takes the lead or being the one that is like, you know, do you want us to hang out? Do you want to come with me? Do you want us to go to the movies? You know, so you can also take the pressure of them because while they are thinking and planning and overthinking and just like this, and also working, because Mars in Virgo is all about being working and planning and studying, and it's like this, their mind is like this. Um, Sometimes for them to put the power in the power of decision in the other person is the best. You know, for them to be with someone more assertive, someone that is a bit more spontaneous, someone that also lets them and teaches them how to relax, how to have fun, how to be without feeling the criticism and feeling like I'm not good enough until I'm perfect. You know, so there's there's a lot of things, and yes, like you said, Hope, definitely Temin is a great teacher, and they, the good thing about someone with the Mars in Virgo, just like performers but also as teachers, is that whatever they point out with the hand that they see and point out in you in form of criticism is for you to be better. You need someone to be bluntly and be like, you know, you are weak in this, you have to be better. That's what a teacher does. They are not afraid to point it out, of course, with the right, you know, with the right tone, with respect to each person, their own way of communication and style of communication. But, you know, since they know what it's like to always be thinking about how can I be better? How can I improve? How can I do this faster? How can I do this better? How can I save energy? How can I be more like effective? How can I be more productive? You know, for them to create the choreographies that they do, or for them to sort of coordinate the things that they do, the projects that they do, it takes a lot of mind work. In the case of a Mars in Virgo, a lot of movement, a lot of study of movement, a lot of precision, a very sharp eye, probably a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of insomnia, I would say. But it has to be a certain way. They cannot rest until it's a certain way, until it's perfect. And actually, there's a lot of main dancers. For example, I think about my biases. I remember Stray Kids Lino has Mars in Virgo. Well, Taeyeon, NCT Taeyeon. Then The Boys Q also has Mars in Virgo. I know there's other people that have also Mars in Virgo. and they are just very like, you know, like very very sharp when it comes, like they don't let any flaws pass their eyes, and when they make a mistake they don't let it go, they don't forget it, they fix it until it's perfect. They are machines. They are machines. Their body language, it has to do with being not perfect, but it has to do with being efficient. You know, with like, okay, I'm a dancer, like I want to sort of dissect and discriminate what works for my body, what is the best shape, the best movement, and remove the other steps and moves that make me look dumb and unprofessional. So in order for me to do this, I have to focus my gaze and I have to point out the flaws. I have to be an observer. I bet he'll end up with someone older. Yeah, probably with those cancer placements that he has, Cheryl, maybe. Funny thing in readings with Temi is that he's dominant in relationship and will try to convince everyone, but he's not actually that he should end up with older, but because of the end with younger. That he focused on his vocal training since he's less calm, but Temi shows his desire for balance. His dancing is so fierce too. Yeah. Mm, yeah, definitely. A lot of like these people don't sleep, like they don't relax. You know, they're not like, oh yeah, I've been doing this for years. I think I sort of know what I'm going to do, you know, and sort of being like spontaneous about it. You know, Mars in Virgo will never be spontaneous. It's like, no, let's get back to practice. We're always apprentices in life. And there's also a part of being humble also in this placement in Mars in Virgo. It's about like, you know, sometimes we think we know it all and we have mastered all, but no, maybe today we can learn something different, a new technique. It was so interesting to hear Temin talk about viewing a playback and appreciating that he was immersed in the dance. He likes the part of himself. Yeah. Well, guys, this was all for today. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to go because I have to have. I'm going to see if I'm going to eat something because it's late. It's 10 here. I don't know if I'm hungry anymore, but yeah. I think I'm going to do the June's reading, Mariuszka. I think I'm going to do it tomorrow because I have a bit of time. So I'm going to start the week with him. I'm going to start the week with him. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Thank you so much. I know it was late. I know it's late over there. Thank you so much for being here with me. And thank you so much for all the ranting that we always do. I learned so much from you guys. Thank you so much for being here and supporting me. Bye. Have a nice beginning of the week.